Figure out a higher way to hold the key.
Together we can kind of weave this web and be much more sustainable, resilient.
Where are we?
Where are we?
Yeah.
We are on Farmstead 42.
What is your particular pro-hippie mission?
The Community Share Association is a private association membership which creates a private domain marketplace. Supreme Court, I guess in the past 100 years or so, has interpreted the First and 14th Amendment to say that there can be public domain business and private domain business. And all public domain business is subject to government regulation, licenses. People in a private association take on the personal responsibility and the liability for all their transactions, and they can do business in a private domain, and the government has no place to regulate that whatsoever. I'm growing kale and cabbage, and you're making applesauce, and I'm making sauerkraut at my home kitchen, and I can sell you my sauerkraut and I can buy your applesauce, and we don't have to have, you know, a license. We don't have to have a commercial kitchen. We don't have to, you know, in California we don't have to pay tax on food anyway. But so there's none of these kind of regulations. So anyone can join, and anyone can buy or sell whatever they've got, and that kind of creates more interdependence. Check it out, Community Share Association, coming soon to a town near you. New Earth Gardens, yeah. That's landscaping, or eco-landscaping and organic gardening company. I definitely think landscaping should be inspiring and beautiful and not just utilitarian, and I definitely strive towards that as well, in designing to make things beautiful as well as productive. And using the earth in a really respectful and abundant way, and it's so much nicer to look out and see, wow, see all your plants and all your veggies and fruit growing and your ducks playing in the pond, and then it definitely depends on your, like you said, on your value. What do you value? What do you want out of life? And how do you see your responsibility, your stewardship of the earth, or your little bit of earth that you're caring for?
Well, I know I'd like to hear about your pivotal hippie experiences.
I left the country and I traveled in India for about a year. I traveled in Europe a little bit first, and then I traveled in India for about a year. And that really blew my head off completely. You know, middle class, upper middle class, white kid, went to college, and then was just blown away by what I saw. The streets in Varanasi, and seeing, you know, tens of thousands of people living in blue tarps along train tracks, and seeing their joy, you know, me feeling bad for them, me feeling guilty, feeling convicted for my wealth that I experienced, and then seeing how happy they were. That really turned my whole world upside down, and I was in shock for a long time after that, and it really changed how I felt about myself, how I felt about wealth, how I felt about poverty, how I felt about spirituality, seeing material and spirit kind of as like a yin-yang, where, you know, when you have so much material, there's just not much room for spirit. And when you don't have any material, you've got nothing but space for spirit. So that was like a major pivotal hippie experience for me, definitely.
What is your new world vision?
I would really hope to see a completely different type of government that is local and yet far-reaching. The way that we're having to focus on things now is on an extremely local level, is to get ourselves out of being dependent on this big global economy, and so we're having to just focus on home. And I guess I would really hope that in that much time that will be successful, to be able to branch out, that the small local level will become interdependent and can become, or begin to become, global in a more human way, in a more love-based way. You know, there's a big talk about the 99% and the 1% in the Occupy movement, and I totally identify with that in terms of who has the money, right? Who has the money? And I also feel about who's blessed, right? And I feel myself as part of the 1% of blessed, and maybe that's not true, but I feel like, wow, there's so many people, And those of us who are living more sustainably and living more independently, I feel like, oh, that's part of the 1%. And I want this kind of independence and abundance to be able to spread to the really poor places on Earth. We're never going to get people whose interest is so diametrically opposed to our own interest. We're never going to really change their mind, and we're going to waste our vital energy really trying to do that when we're very powerful, when we just feel how powerful we are, especially in big groups. And to take all that group energy and direct it into creation. I would love to see us make the enemy obsolete. Just forget about them and let's just do our own thing. I think that's a better approach, is to do our own thing and then invite them over for tea or raw chocolate or whatever.
Yes, raw chocolate.
You know, definitely, and convert them with love.
Each other through a